Hey everyone, welcome to the second part of this stylized maze, where we'll finish it. In this part we'll do the background, do some lighting, and finally add some colors. As I mentioned in the previous video, to follow this I need you to have two add-ons. So go to edit mode, preferences, add-ons, or get extensions, and we need UV toolkit and node wrangler. And then just save preferences. By the way, if you don't have those, I have it in a previous video, check it out. But other than that, let's do the thing. Before we continue and do anything else, we need to make kinda management in our scene. So right now I know there's spikes, they are here, but then everything else is called the default name. So let's rename things. And to rename, I will click this torus and I will F2 for renaming shortcut, or I could in an outliner, I could double click the torus and that would give me a renaming option. And as I cannot figure out any genuine names, I will just call this lower circle. And this is pretty much what I'll do with the rest. I will click this ball and call it big ball. Just for me to know. You call it any way you need it so that it makes sense to you or anyone else you would be sharing it with. Let's call this the metal parts. This will be bolts, this is the leather, and this will be the handle. So all I'm doing, clicking F2 and renaming it. Now I can see everything makes sense, that's cool. I will double click the collection and call it Mace Call. If you want, you can give it a color, right click and give it a color. The next thing I'm going to do is, now I need to do parenting. The maze is separated and everything we move moves individually. We could either press A, Ctrl J to connect it, have it like that, which is not often very handy. So for me to do it all at once, I need to use parenting. So we need to add plane axis. And before we do that, we need to get this cursor to the world origin. So Shift S, cursor to world origin. And now I want to Shift A, empty. Here you have it in the middle, somewhere below middle, empty and plane axis. This will add just this cross. If I click away, it's very hard to select it sometimes because it sits on the axis. So you can select it from below. And I will rename this to Maze Group, like a group. But you don't have to, you can just call it a maze. You can call it Maze Pivot or something. And now I want to select everything else. And now I need this empty to be selected as last. Right now I can see that it's light orange or light yellowish. That means it's the last thing I'm selecting. The darker ones are the before. If you want to make sure, you can shift click it and shift click it again, or control click it in outliner. But it just has to be yellow. Now Control P, and we have a bunch of options. Set parent to. I want to keep transform. Now in outliner I can open this arrow and it's all below it. What happens is you can see these dots, see these lines, which is relationship lines. That means everything else is copying from this. I can move this, rotate it, scale it, and everything will be copied to everything else. While also, since I'm moving with this, I can Alt G to reset transform, Alt S to reset the scales, and Alt R for the rotations. So I can do anything with this while keeping it in the middle of the center, which is cool. So that's another thing we needed. Now let's go back to our collection, scene collection, right click it and new collection. This will be called environment, or again, anything else. We will be adding the background, the camera and the lighting. Call it whatever you want. You can also make more collections, but that's up to you. I can give it a yellow color. So since we added the environment, let's add the background. The background will be pretty simple. We need just a plane. So mesh, plane, R and X, 90 degrees. I will move it behind it in a y-axis, somewhere like that. Go into edit mode and scale it up. You can scale it in object mode, but again, remember to apply scale. I could leave it like this, maybe a bit closer, and that's it. That's one thing. Let's call it bugger, like background, or a bugger plane. Really, this is just for management, knowing what we are having in a scene. Now let's add the camera. So we need Shift A and camera. I will press 0 on a numpad on the right side, which gives me the view from the camera. I will press N to open the menus and we go to view. In a view we have lock. Here I want camera to view. Now if I move in a viewport, I will just zoom out with the scroll. You can see the camera is moving with me. That's pretty much what I wanted. So I will just put camera in a way I see the maze and I like it. I will keep it like this for now. We can adjust later. Now, if I zoom and everything is moving with me, so I need to turn off this option, camera to view. And also I want to say, I can right click it, remove from quick favorites. I can add it to quick favorites, which if you don't know, if you go into your scene with the mouse and press Q, you have quick favorites options. So anything you want to access quickly, it will be here. So I can have it in, as you can see, lock camera to view. I have it here and I can turn it off here. On the right panel, it's here, but I will be using it from the quick favorites. Now let's turn it off so I can zoom and move again. Let's rename it to, sometimes I call it main, sometimes just cam001. Because I tend to have more cameras as we discussed in the pancakers. And I think we are pretty much set up. The last thing we need to do on this model is we need to go to the handle and go up in the tabs and UV editing. When I go to UV editing, I'm popped in edit mode. Let's go to object mode just in case. Let's select the handle and shift H to isolate it. Now I want to press 1 on the numpad to check if I'm from the front. Yes, I'm in the front. Go to edit mode and let's add seams. We did it in a UV tutorial, so check it out if you don't know how to make UVs. And let me alt click this and go from the other side, Ctrl E, mark seam, and now here I will select this edge, go up. You can see I am in the middle. There is the y-axis. And let's go up with Control selecting the last edge. It will take the whole path. Control E, mark seam. And that's pretty much all. I just need this. Select all, U, unwrap angle based. Now let's go in the 2D view, press N, and I need the UV toolkit. Let's select one vertex here, Control L or L. I have it again on my mouse shortcut, so just select whole of this island and straighten UVs. There is lots of options in here. If you don't know this add-on, I have explained some of them in the second part of UV tutorial, so check it out in case you don't know it, but not everything is explained there. And that's pretty much it, just leave this be. That's all we need with this. Let's go to object mode and Alt H to unhide everything else. Let me put this down. Now from here, since we have the UVs ready, we will go to shading tab. In a shading tab, you will get this view. If you don't know it, you will get this view. In case it's lagging to you, it's fine. Usually the first time you open this, it lags a bit. Then if you go back to shaded and here, it goes smoothly. Just be aware. Now here, before we start to do anything, we have to go back to our preferences. And if you haven't rendered yet, go to system and check CUDA or OptX. If you have NVIDIA GPU, go to OptX. If you have any other, go to CUDA and select your device. You can select the CPU as well, but I don't recommend it unless you are leaving your computer and want it to have as fast as possible. I usually work while I'm rendering, so I want my CPU to be untouched. Save preferences again. Let's go to render settings. From EV, go to cycles, and in device, let's switch to GPU. Now let's click from camera and go to render view. We have these 4 balls in the right upper corner, so let's go for the last one. I can see it's working, but we have no light, so let's do the lighting. To do the environmental lighting, we need something so-called HDRI. There is a site for this called Polyhaven, where we'll get this for free. What I need you to do is go to this HDRI. You can use any other, but your result might differ from mine. Let's go to 2K or 4K. You will get 2K is enough. 4K is usually when you really need the picture in the background, but again, I use everything in 4K, so I get 4K. Here it might be EXR, so switch to HDR and download it. When it's downloaded, let's go to here and push this a bit. Here in the left corner, we have this box. We will go to this left corner of the box, and here I want to switch to shader editor. Now we have 2 shader editors. Here is one, here is second. Let's press N to hide this menu, and let's select this object and switch to world. Now we have a node here for background, which is our world background. We will take the studio HDR file and we will drag and drop it here. That's all we'll do. Now we delete it. Don't worry, it's fine. Trust me. Now Shift A, search, environment texture. Take the color, put it to background. Everything's become pink. That's because the texture is missing. Select this icon and Studio Small 4K. and it's working. The reason I put just drag and drop and deleted it is for Blender to keep it, and then I added the environmental node because sometimes when you just drag the texture in here and plug it, it doesn't often work, so that's why I did it. Now let's select this texture, Ctrl T, and if you got generated UV2 vector, it will do this, so make sure you put the generated into vector. And now if I go to rotation and Z, I can rotate the light any way I need it, or any other direction. That's up to you. This is your free space to investigate. So we have the main light. So now that we have the main lighting, we have the camera, we have everything set up. Let's start to add colors, but before, let's go to output. Below the render settings, there's this fax machine called output, and below the resolutions, we have render region. Let's click it. Again, this option can be put to quick favorites. So we can put it, right click, add to quick favorites. Now if I queue, I have render region, I can turn it on and off. This helps to see what kind of picture you're getting. Now let's add the colors. So let's go to Mace group and open it. Put this a bit down. Let's start adding the colors. I will save. Let's go, we will go from below up. Let's select the lower circle and in the shader editor, press new. The material, you can rename it again. So let's call it metal light material. So for this one, I want to go with the on the color value down, something like 0.15 or 6. Let's zoom on this. I'll put roughness down as well, and I will crank up the IOR to somewhere like 6. And that's pretty much it. I will select the metal parts, go here in the shader, but not pressing new. I will click on this icon of the ball and select the metal light material. Now they are sharing it. But the result is kinda, I can see the white is interfering a lot with it. So let's select the background. We can see an outline the background plane. Select new, call it a burger material, and put the base color down somewhere like very low, like maybe 001, and then crank up the roughness, go up, and the IOR, if you want it to be darker, you can go down with the IOR as well. Like I will go 1.4, and now I can see the metal quite better. Let me go back to the metal light. You can see whenever I'm clicking an object, it switches the material. Let's crank up the roughness a bit. Let's go 0.3. I don't want it to be so reflective. Now let's go to the spikes and select the first spike in here. Give it again. Let's select the ball in here, metal light, and assign it. That looks good. But in my render, I have this lower part of the spike, it's black. So I need to assign it a second material. To do that, let's go to slot, add a plus. Now here, now you can see it's empty, and here we have option to add new. So let's add new and let's call it metal black. Right now it doesn't do anything because we need to assign it. It doesn't know where to put it. To do this, we need to go to edit mode, select one edge, Ctrl L, or I have it on the shortcut, select this lower part, go to the slot again and assign. Now you can see it's assigned to it. By the way, if it's lagging to you, you can go to the solid and do it in here. You don't have to stay in the render mode like I do. You can do it in a solid view in case it's lagging in an edit mode. Now let's go back to rendered, and now I can see it's assigned, so I can adjust the material. So let's pump up the metallic, take the color, go down, let's go to blackish color like this. Put down the roughness. This seems cool. And while we have it set up, let's check it on the ball. So select the big ball, select the icon, and choose the metal black. And I think this looks fine. I think this is okay. The other thing I want to do, let's select the bolts, icon, metal light. And I can see these metal are not looking the same as I had them. And that's because I had a bit of color in them. So while the metal light is selected, let's go to base color and put this circle closer to blue, just slightly. If you go too much, it looks like this. Let's go very slight, closer to the white. And that's it. It looks now closer to mine. Now let's do the leather. Select the leather parts. We will use new, call it the leather material. And this is all again. This is repeating. It's the same process all over again. Go to base color, select brownish color and go down with the value. Maybe a bit reddish. And closer to white, something like this probably. Roughness, I can probably keep it, I like this. And now the hardest of it all, let's do the handle. So handle, new material, handle, matte. To do the handle, we'll need a bit more nodes than before. So let's add Shift A, search, noise, texture. We will need this one, Shift A, and mix color. So mix color, this yellow, there's more mixes, so make sure you add mix color. And now I will Control T on the noise texture and put the FAC in the factor of the mix. Result put in the base color, and that's it. Now when you go into texture coordinate, there is generated to vector, we need the UV. We specifically made UVs for this, so we need the UV. In the mapping, go to X value in the scale and type 005. Now to see what's happening, we can Control Shift, select the node if you have the node wrangler, and this will give you preview. So we can Control Shift on mix, mapping, and this is telling you what is happening. The important thing here is the last thing needs to be, if you're done, Control Shift select the principled BSDF, or just make sure the output is connected to surface here. And we can Control Shift the noise, take up the scale, and you can see what's happening. So we will put it up a bit. And right now the texture is flipped. I made a bit of mistake. We have to go to the scale again. Go 1 to X. Right now at least you can see what's happening, but we need to put this value to Y. So scale Y 0.05. Now it's correct. I need to get this lower. Let's go something like this. Let's take down the detail. Yes, that's better. And this should work. Now let's go to mix. And in the A, let's put some brownish, lighter. And in a B, let's put some darker brownish color. Something like this. That seems to fit. Drag over the principled and material output. Drag it up a bit. Go Control Shift selecting this preview, so have it in output. Shift A, search, hue, saturation value. We need this node, and if you put it in this above this connection, it will connect automatically. So do this. Let's take the value, put it to 2, and saturation may be a bit down. This is up to you. That seems to be okay. Maybe let's take these colors and put them a bit up in here as well in the mix. Yes. And I'm okay with this. You can adjust how this looks with this noise texture, how much you want of these ridges to be there. The same with the detail, you can add the detail or take it down, but I'm okay with this. The only thing I'm not so much okay with maybe the metal. I think it should be a bit lighter. Yes, that's better. Let's put it a bit up. It was too dark. And I'm okay with this. I think we have... Now I'm selecting the camera here. I can select the outline and move it. And I think we are okay with this. This is fine. Right now, I want to be in an environment collection and I want to add another light. It's a bit boring, so I want to take outline of this weapon with a light. So as always, let's Shift A, light, and area light. Now I want to take this area light and rotate it in X-axis like this, and take it behind the maze and rotate it freely, really. Rotate it how you like it and look from the camera now. Scale it up. Move it a bit like this. You can see we are still behind. And I want to go here in the right properties, select the green light icon and take out the power to like 200. That's good. Maybe make it larger, more behind. Maybe like this, so it's not so strong. And let's maybe 150 on the power. That's better. And it's already looking more interesting. You can play with this. You can try the light from different directions. I'll leave that up to you. You can also use color and put some kind of color here. Maybe the bluish works. Really, try and play with it around. And I think we're finished. Time to make output. Take this maze group. We can take this empty and rotate it. So it's looking nice and posed. Save it. Go to output properties. You can change your resolution here, how you want the image to look like. This camera will change according to that. So I will leave it as it was before on HD. Now let's go to render settings, and here, in case you want a transparent background, you want to put your own background behind it, you can go to film and transparent. Now everything became transparent. We can hide this background plane and you can see it's transparent. Also you have to disable in renders, not just hide but disable in renders as well. It's the camera icon, you have to turn it off. You can leave this on if you want to, because I will turn on the plane again. And the last thing, if you don't adjust the colors outside Blender go to color management, look, and medium high contrast. This helps to make the colors a bit rich. And that's pretty much it. To render it out, I usually switch to solid view as well, so I don't take out the resources. Left upper corner, render image, or F12 as a shortcut, and that's it. We will wait for it to render. When it's done, left corner image, save as. And here you can file format, PNG if you want it transparent, or JPEG, which is more compressed but final image, again, or anything else if you are more skilled, and save it any way you want it, name it how you like it. But that's pretty much it. Guys, this is it. This is for this tiny series. If you liked it, subscribe, let me know in the comments. And if you have any ideas or some critique, you didn't understand something, or you just want to let me know if you liked it, you can do it in the comment sections. And if you want to support me, check out the links below where I have my Gumroad, or you can give me a follow on social medias. I'll leave that up to you. Anything helps. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you again on another modeling practice.